just reflect on what it was like to make your World Cup debut and what kind of tough experience it was?
Yeah, I mean, from a coach's perspective, it's an amazing achievement that we're here. It's been a lot of hard work over a number of years, and it's been well documented that there's lots of times that we've had to pay our own way to get to competitions and stuff. So to be here and to experience the World Cup is a massive achievement for us. Yeah, I mean, from the coaching side of things, it's another game. It's the same thing that we're doing, so there's not much difference from that. So I guess Ash probably take it on from a player and what it feels like to be part of it as a player.
Yeah, people always talk about the destination. People always say, this is the peak, you've got to the World Cup and that's that. For me, when you reach the top of one mountain, you're at the bottom of another. We've got a long way to go, we can see that from the result, but equally if you don't sit back and reflect on how you've got to this point and the journey we've been on as a group. Me, I've been part 5 years as players, part of it 15 years, 20 years. Like Jermaine mentioned, there's countless times where we've had to dig in our own pockets and get there, and to be here today, emotions are high. But I just don't think you can fault the effort, attitude and desire from the boys. You look 2 weeks ago and some of the squad are in Jamaica not playing, and we're here today representing Jamaica. Full wholehearted effort, attitude and desire to do the nation proud, and me as a captain, I know Jermaine as a coach, we'll be going in change rooms and proud as punch, to be honest. Yeah.
Keith McGee from the Gleaner. I know it's a team game, but I mean, in particular, from a defensive point of view, who would you highlight as having exceptional performances?
I mean, for me, it's difficult on the field, but we're big believers in just do your job, get your job done, and I've got to play homage to our wingers and our fullback today. I think they cleaned up 4 or 5 try-saving tackles, and them tries should have been scored, but without that effort, desire, and attitude, they were saved, and that gave us hope. And that boosted the middle unit to get down there and make an effort. So for me, you look at your outside backs and you're saying outstanding try savers, but equally, us in the middle, we're working hard, we're getting back, the ruck's quick, slowing it down. We're doing absolutely everything we can, and we're leaving everything on the field to make sure that we as a collective unit in the middle are doing our job so the edgemen can do their job. So from a playing perspective, I think 1 to 17, everyone had a dig there.
Yeah, I'd second Ash. I am going to single someone out. I'm going to single out Siobhan Bailey. He's a local player, never played Championship rugby before, never played League One rugby before, has only played domestic game and has come over here and played 80 minutes in the back row against essentially a full-time team, and his effort and his work rate was phenomenal. So I'm going to single Siobhan out and say, to come over here and do 80 minutes off the back of playing in the domestic league is a phenomenal effort.
Yep.
And to both of you, you had the crowd firmly behind you, and how much did you enjoy the atmosphere?
Yeah, atmosphere is great. I think we experienced it in 2019, Ash and myself, when we played England Nights here, and we had a crowd of about 8,000, 8,500. I think that's the biggest one England Nights have ever had for a home game. So we knew and we expected and we hoped that was going to be the case again tonight. And we bang on about all the time that it's not just about this World Cup, it's not just about now, it's about what platform we're laying and the foundations that we're laying. And I hope that the fans that came in today, there was a lot of new faces in there, and I hope they enjoyed the game of rugby, and I hope that we inspire that next generation of players.
Yeah, for me, for a multitude of reasons, today was really special. I was born in Leeds, so for me to be able to represent everything that my family's done for me today on the field of Leeds, it couldn't have been more fitting for me. So for me personally, having the crowd there firmly behind us, which was obvious to see, really cheered us on, and me personally, kept me going. So really special and quite an emotional day, to be honest, when you break it down.
John Davidson, you could see yesterday with England Samoa, the Samoans kind of gave up at the end, but for you guys, the commitment didn't waver, and every ruck you were there, you must be quite proud of how the team. They didn't throw in the towel, and
100%, and that's been our ethos from day dot, really. As Ashton said and I said before about us paying our way. It was never about what we were getting; it was about what we were giving back. And we can't give back if we give up and we stop and we don't keep fighting for every inch. Then we're not representing our heritage in the way that we've spoken about doing. So similar to what I'm sure Jed will come in and speak exactly the same about the Irish boys. It's about pride, it's about honour, it's about representing your nation and doing that to the best of your ability. And in order to do that, you have to keep working for the full 80 minutes and never give up. I think if there was anyone in the group that was going to be that way inclined, I don't think they would last very long within the group. I think before I had to say anything, Ashton as captain would probably be calling them out to start with.
Yeah, hey, that nails it on the head. You don't have to have the skill. You don't have to be able to catch every ball or make every pass. But what you got to do is you got to defend the next player. And I just didn't see us wave away from that. Yeah, we got broke down. Systematically, we can work better and we can look at video and we can review all that. I didn't see at any point we just stopped and we just walked and we just give up. There was no dying us. I'd rather be a part of a team like that than go out and win 50-0 and do it easily, because there's something to build on. You know, there's a foundation to build from there. So there were no die from us today, and it's a good foundation to build on. We know where we need to work on now, building for New Zealand and going into Lebanon. And again, there'll be no die in either game there.
Hi, Megan Armitage, Sport Speed. Talking about building up onto those next few games, said you've got Kiwis, you've got Lebanon coming up. So what are those specific bits that you're thinking of going into?
Yeah, I think, you know, from a structural point of view, as Ashton said, you know, systematically I think we were poor around the ruck. I thought we needed to wrestle a little bit better, and we didn't really give ourselves a chance to have any line speed due to that. On the flip side, in our attack, I thought we made it pretty easy and pretty comfortable for them in terms of how we attacked. We didn't use the space. We weren't as connected as we've spoken about being throughout the week. So there's some really clear, easy fixes for us to do. We have to take into account again that we're going to be playing, you know, probably the best team in the world on paper next week. So if we're fatigued at this level, it's going to be exactly the same next week. But as Ashton said, you know, we base our ethos around our effort and our desire and our commitment, and you know, I'm 100% guaranteed that I'm going to get that.
Keith, you have a follow-up?
Yeah, I mean, similar question in a way. The effort is obviously there, but you can't overcome the fact that they've got 10, and I think Lebanon will be the same, 10 full-time players. New Zealand have got a whole squad of 17 full-time players, possibly the best in the world. How do you approach a game like that? Is it a damage limitation for them almost from the start?
No, I don't think so. I don't think, you know, any sporting person goes into anything thinking it's a damage limitation. We're going in there with full confidence. We want to perform and we want to play to the best of our ability. And, you know, it's an old cliche, but the result will take care of itself after that, you know. Undoubtedly, they've got some phenomenal players in that team next week, and similar the week after against Lebanon. And it's one of those things that coaches added, if they're a better player than you're a better player than you, that's fine. But what they're not going to do is out effort us and out work us. So we'll be doing exactly that same thing, working as hard as what we can possibly do, showing the effort that we can possibly do, and you know, hopefully we can take on board some of the messages this week about them small fixes and present a bit of an issue for New Zealand next week.
You mentioned Siobhan Bailey. I mean, did he play all 80 minutes?
He did. He played 80 minutes in the back row. Yeah.
Was that the plan to start with? Because that's a big ask of somebody, isn't it? Coming from a domestic competition, never been played at this sort of level.
No, I mean, I spoke about this. We did a shirt presentation this morning. I spoke this morning. Siobhan's impressed me the most, to be honest with you. I've never met Siobhan before. This is his first time within the group since I've been involved. And from the first day that we met, you can tell I'm a teacher. We had a little bit of a test on some of their work and some of their shapes and stuff, and he had them all spot on. He knew what they were at. So he's an intelligent young man, a teacher also, which helps. I think, you know, the game is moving and transitioning away now from someone who's just big and athletic. There has to be a bit of intelligence there. There has to be a little bit of game smarts there. And Siobhan's showed that in abundance since he's come. On top of that, he's also showed that he's got a great work rate and a great effort areas. So yeah, if I'm honest, I didn't expect him to get 80 minutes. I thought he would have got sort of 40, 50 minutes and died. But yeah, I thought he stood up to a man and was fantastic.
Any more, guys?
Hi, Shine Steele, Heart and Capital Radio Yorkshire. First of all, I want to say I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I really hope that you appreciate there were so many people from Leeds out supporting, and absolutely lovely. I've never seen so many Jamaican sports at a rugby game. It was amazing, so thank you for bringing that. What I wanted to ask was about the future of rugby, because obviously this is your first Rugby League World Cup. What is going to be next? What's it going to take for Jamaica to get its own full-time squad? What's the kind of future that you're hoping for?
I mean, I don't think we're a million miles off it. I think, you know, again, it's probably been documented quite well. There's probably 8 or 9 full-time players that we would have had in the group had they not been injured towards the end of the season. It was important for us to come in and be on this stage to show people what we've got. I've been quite vocal about the fact that for me there's been a disconnect with rugby league and the Caribbean community. If I look at when I was coming through, similar to Ashton, I was born and raised in Leeds, played for Milford just down the road, but there was 10 or 12 players in each academy team system as I came through. And I look at academy team systems now. We're recruiting and we're scouting and we're looking for players. We're only looking at 2 or 3 players across academy systems now. So for us, it's about inspiring that next generation. It's about finding out what's happened and what that gap is. Why rugby league has got that disconnect with the Caribbean community. And I think once we fix that, then I think we'll see a stream of people come through. Yourself, as you said, you've come to watch the game today, you've seen all the Jamaican supporters, there's an appetite for it in the Caribbean community, so it's about just feeding that appetite now and just going from strength to strength. So, you know, this is the first level of it. We get to the World Cup. Once we're here now, we need to perform, earn that respect of people, and then off the back of that, then we need to go back over to Jamaica. We need to get the game upskilled on the island. You know, there's some talk about trying to upskill the game on the island and create 4 sort of semi-professional teams on the island, and then we'll go into the qualifiers next year full of confidence. You know, we are pretty long term in terms of the plans. We are pretty confident in what we're setting in place to guarantee ourselves another qualification for the World Cup in 2025 in France. And you know, we feel that once we get there again, we will have another abundance of players to pick from, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't get injured at the end of the season.
Quick one for you, Ashton. Richard from Forty20. Perfect record with the Captain's Challenge. What's the secret?
Listen, I'm always right. I don't understand. No, it's just about waiting and not using it with emotion. Really breaking it down and waiting for someone who's in the moment, letting you know. You've got your own opinion on it as well, but you know, you win some, you lose some. I was just confident in the ones that we said. They were pretty clear. The ones that I got. So we had a good chat before the game and that kind of stuff, mate. So yeah.
Special signals.
Yeah. Mexican wave.